Hey, this is Matt Boldy, and you're listening to Locked On Wild.
Hey, this is Marcus Foligno, and you're listening to Locked On Wild.
You're Locked On Wild, your daily podcast on the Minnesota Wild. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome in. And right off the bat, apologies that we are starting here late. That's on me. Had some work stuff that I had to attend to, but we're here. It is a Monday night, and we are going to have a great time, as we always do. So I will turn it over to the man of the hour. Good evening, Denny.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to What the Hell Are You Smoking? I want to start out the show by talking about my health. As a lot of people have pointed out, and thank you really for all the kind words, my dementia has taken a little turn. I spent 3 hours in the hospital today with doctors and specialists and all the good stuff, and you know how that stuff goes. And so far, so good. All I can say about right now is we're going to try some new stuff. But, dementia is a weird disease, and they really don't know much about it, to be quite honest. So I'm hoping for the best, and I want to thank everybody for all the kind words and the concern that you guys put in, because you really do. I have a very special fan base, I got to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about Gavin McKenna for a minute. I don't know what you guys have heard, but he got into a situation where somebody was goading him, and he ended up doing what anybody should do to protect their family, especially talking bad about your mother. The kid got coming what he had coming, and I'm proud of Gavin for doing that. So many times now today, you see people trying to go stars in hockey or whatever to try and make a mistake so they can sue them, and that's really all it's about. And it's a terrible thing, but that's very realistic, and that's part of life these days. At any rate, I'm proud of Gavin McKenna for sticking up for his family and his mother and blasting them. Okay, and then also the U.S. Olympics. For a lot of you who you don't know, in 1980, I got to meet all the players, the coaches, everybody in Thief River Falls when they had an exhibition game against Japan, which we won 6-0. And I can tell you this, every single one of them, the thing that meant most to them was the flag. And if anybody has seen the movie, or I hope that the National Hockey League and all their players do the same thing. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And I think they will. I mean, it is what it is, but it's very special to represent your country. And I know they're going to do it in exemplary fashion. All right, moving on. I'm going to talk about all the players, the lineup that I see coming, how many points, and just where I see things going right now. And to start out, last year, we ended up scoring 225 goals and letting in 236, which is not good. We got into playoffs with 97 points. And as you know, at the beginning of the year, I gave my predictions where the Wild would end up, and I was at 113. With 24 games left to go, all we have to do is win 15 out of the next 24, and we're taking second place because, you got to figure we're going to have so many games that go to overtime. Win or lose, it's still a point. So my 113 is looking pretty good right now. I don't know how close I'll come, but it's looking pretty good. Getting on to the players in the lineups that I see happening for the last half. Oh, excuse me. Now, I've been on the Trocheck deal for 2 months anyway. And somebody brought up, I don't know who he was because I don't get to see the comments when I'm on the show. He talked about Billy was watching Hughes all the time. And, I got to thinking about that. Everybody who's watching the games, why don't you see if you can pick up who Billy's talking to? Because you know what? That's a hell of an idea. I really like it. And whoever it was who brought that up, you get a shout out because that's a hell of a deal there. Because I absolutely think Trocheck's coming here. I think the deal's already been made. I think Bill is just waiting to accumulate as much cap money as he can. Did you ever get to figure out kind of how we're looking?
As of right now, according to moneypuck.com, the current cap space is $9.099 million.
There you go.
The projected deadline cap space is $14.55.
Really?
Yep.
That's the highest so far. I've heard 12
and again,
not 14.
Heavily emphasized this is according to Puckpedia.
Okay.
Because I've had people when I bring up these numbers before that are like, well, you can't trust those numbers. It's like it's from Puckpedia. So take it up with them.
There you go.
I'm not a math guy. I've never tried to be a math guy. But when another site specializes in math, I usually trust the site that specializes in the math over my own.
There you go. Well, at any rate, after thinking about this, why is he maximizing the dollars for the trade deadline? Because I think he's doing 2 deals, not 1. And I don't think it's going to be the Hughes brothers this year. That would be a summer acquisition type thing if it happens. But I think Billy has got something worked out. I mean, he's sitting here over in Italy talking with all the rest of the GMs daily, sitting having a glass of beer or wine with a cigar and, just talking hockey. They got something worked out. And being that Nashville has, decided to go another way with Poyle, who knows what Nashville is going to do? I mean, I really would like to get Rylan O'Reilly, but Vincent Trocheck is a great option. And when you look at the lines with Vincent in, and I'm going to do these right now because I think this is probably what we're looking at. We got Kaprizov, Trocheck, and Zuggs. JoJo, Eck, and Boldy. And I have Trennan, Yeroff, and Tarasenko, but I think actually what's going to happen is you're going to see Hartman going up on the third line with Yeroff and Tarasenko. And then you're going to have Sturm, Foligno, and either Trennan or Hartman for the fourth line. Now think about that for a sec. How deep is our 4 lines now? It's never been this deep, ever. And I'm just assuming Trocheck's going to be here. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it just seems, common sense to me.
Did you hear what happened at the team photo for the Olympics?
No.
So they did like the full team photo, and then they were kind of splitting it off and having the players from different teams do their own like team photos. And
yeah.
Trocheck, according to Russo, jokingly went over to where the Wild were at and joined their team photo.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
so the
there
players,
you go, folks.
The players are jokingly hinting at it too.
Well, they know more than we know. And if that's the case, well, then you can pretty much put he'll be here. And my biggest concern for the Cup is we need a first line center who's good in the dot. That's the most important thing. And Trocheck, he may not be a superstar center, but he doesn't have to be with our team. He just has to be good on the dot and distribute the puck, of which he's very good at. His two-way game is excellent. Right now he'd be the third leading scorer on our team. And at 55% in the dot, that hits all the buttons right there. And when you think about what this does now, Trocheck centering Kaprizov and Zuggs, Egg, Boldy, and JoJo, that's a hell of a 1-2 combination. It really is. I don't think Boldy's going to hit 100, but he's going to be somewhere in the 90. I see Kaprizov hit 100 plus. We have 24 games left. If we win 15 games, we're taking second place, because you got to figure how many games are going to go to overtime, which seems like every other game now. Dallas is, they're playing their heart out now. They're playing just as well as we are. Well, we match up well with Dallas. We match up well with Colorado. The biggest difference is the goalies. Wallstead and Gus Bus. Who would you rather have in goal than those two? I mean, Dallas has got the Minnesota kid. What's his name again? Yes, Ottinger. And then his backup is pretty good too. And they're playing good hockey. But when you look at how we dismantled them the first game, 5-2, that's got to give you an indication. Of course, Dallas isn't done dealing. I'm sure they're not done dealing. But we match up well with both of them. I think Colorado's too far ahead to catch them. After looking at it, they had built such a big lead, but, they're going to have Tays and
Landeskog.
Yes, Landeskog back after the Olympics. So they are full bore, the best team, period. I mean, like I've said, they're the best team I've seen in 50 years. But Minnesota can now, with Trocheck centering the first line, we're damn close. We got a better defense. We got a better goalie. And I see nothing but good things for the Minnesota Wild coming up. I really do. And what are your thoughts on this, Seth, while I get my paperwork together here going over the line and the points?
I think, let me start with how we match up against Dallas and Colorado. I think the Wild have a better core three than Dallas as far as top three players between Kaprizov, Hughes, Boldy versus Heiskanen, Rantanen, Robertson. I think the Wild are better there.
Yep.
Jake Ottinger has been messy. Messy this year is the adjective I'm going to use to describe his play. He's still very good, and so I don't want Dallas fans to flood this and assume that I just think that it would be a cakewalk, because it wouldn't. I think that the Wild are in a much better spot this year than they have previously been to match up with Dallas.
I agree completely.
As far as Colorado goes, I think if the Wild do complete the second big trade, then I think they certainly are in position to contend with Dallas or with Colorado. But I mean, it's Nathan MacKinnon. Like I can't put the Wild ahead of Colorado because they don't have Kirill Kaprizov's very good. Matt Boldy's very good. Quinn Hughes is very good. Nathan MacKinnon's the best player on the planet.
He's playing like it right now, I can tell you that. He's just a beast out there. He can put a team on his back and go. And that's what he's been doing. Even though they've come back down to earth, but when you lose two of your best players, you have to expect that to happen. I mean, look at how many times the Wild have had big hits and, played 500 hockey, even though they've lost all their star players. We're used to it. We're ready for it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like your evaluation there because we could beat Colorado. We can definitely beat Dallas. As I said before, I think we're going to the Cup. I really do. And there's two teams on the East. Carolina, the Canes. They got a goalie named, what is it, Busey?
Yeah, Bussy, I think.
Yeah. Who's just playing phenomenal. And I've tried to watch as much as I can. And that kid is just phenomenal. Tampa Bay is going to have a really tough time dealing with that. And it all depends on what the Canes do. Right now they need a second line center, and let's see what happens there. And of course, on all the hockey podcasts, they have Trocheck as the number one get. And I told you a long time ago, it's going to take four pieces: a first, maybe a second, a couple players, or a first and three players, whatever they can get. But Billy's smart enough, and he knows this is all in time. He's going to get it done. And, I got to give Billy hats off because for as many times as he's made bad deals, he's now making phenomenal deals. Quinn Hughes is the best trade in Wild history. And that cements Billy's legacy for the Minnesota Wild. And what comes up next is whether we get to go to the Cup Finals or not.
Yeah.
And I just don't see Billy holding back at all. I mean,
arguably, Quinn Hughes is arguably the second best player to ever put on the uniform.
Yeah.
With where he's at. I mean, we've obviously had Hall of Fame players that have put on the Wild sweater. But a lot of those have been at the back end of their career. He's in his prime right now.
Yes, he is. The more I watch, I try to review as much as I can of Quinn Hughes. In the last show, I compared him to Bobby Orr. And what does that tell you right there? Bobby Orr is the best defenseman I've ever seen play. And that includes everybody. Quinn Hughes is taken over Bobby Orr's spot. That's how highly I think of him.
And Quinn Hughes is allegedly doing what he's doing hurt.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's some scuttlebutt now coming out that he is dealing with an issue, is the quotes. He's dealing with an issue, lower body issue.
Oh boy.
But here's the thing. I don't think the Wild would put him in any level of position to have something happen that could jeopardize the rest of his season.
Oh, you're right on there. I don't think they'd do it either. And if we lost Quinn Hughes for some games, we could withstand it. We have that much depth.
Now, if they clinch and the Wilds rest him down the stretch, I'm all in favor of that. Like if he needs to just have a couple of games down the stretch to kind of rest, I'm fine with that.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's banged up this time of the year, and really it couldn't come at a better time for the Wild. A lot of people have been asking about, should we trade for a defenseman? Well, we got Brodin coming back, and who better to have come back than Brodin? I mean, Brodin, Spurgeon, as you know, I've been on their bus forever. When you got Hughes in favor, Brodin and Spurgeon, there's not a better top four in the National Hockey League. Nobody. And when you look at our third pairing, it can go a couple of different ways. We can have Middleton and Bogo, or we could have Damon Hunt, Jurasek. either way, it doesn't matter. Our defense, even though we're letting in a little bit more goal-wise, we're suppressing it in goals scored. You know, with the what did you call it? The lightning strike?
Yep.
Is that what you call it? I like it. That's a very good analogy there. With the lightning strike, high risk, high reward. And so, we're giving up some more 2-and-1s and 3-and-2s, but that's the nature of the beast. And when you got Quinn Hughes and Faber back there marching to the drum, watch out. I've been trying to think of a better first line defense in Wild history. There isn't anything that comes close. I mean, maybe you got some ideas on who comes close to Faber and Hughes. Maybe the fans got somebody. I don't know.
I mean, maybe right when they acquired him, maybe Brodin and Suter, but
Yeah. Doesn't come close. Suter was one hell of a player.
That was still a ways into Suter's career.
Yep. Yeah, when he came from Nashville with Parisi, the Wild at that time were really down in the dumps. And the only thing that I didn't agree with was the 13 years. If they would have even kept it at 10 years, the Wild would have been so much better off. But, the Wild were not doing well. And it was the talk of the town when Parisi and Suter showed up. And it really grabbed all the headlines for anybody who wasn't around then or a Wild fan. And nobody thought it was going to happen. And there you go. But Suter and Brodin aren't even close to Hughes and Faber. They really aren't. Faber is really starting to up his game. He very well may score 20 this year. And you think about last year, when everything was on his back, he's starting to hold the stick a little tight. Even in early games in the season, when we got Hughes, that just cut him right open. I mean, now he's playing with enthusiastic abandonment. I love it. Yes. Your thoughts,
I mean, yeah, he has. I think it just has allowed him to not have to do everything offensively. Spurgeon and Brodin are certainly they're capable offensively, but it's definitely not their strong point. So having a guy in Quinn Hughes who that is his game, start to finish, it kind of slots everything else into its natural spot in the lineup.
There you go. Okay. So anyway, getting back to the lineup. Right now, Hughes has 57 points. Faber has 37. I very well could see Faber coming very close to 50 points. And they have two first-line defensemen with 50 points. We've never had that. Not even close. And the National Hockey League is scared to play us. And when you got Spurgeon and Brodin, even though they don't have the scoring finesse that Faber and Hughes do, they shut down everybody. And there's nobody I'd rather have better than Spurgeon and Brodin. I mean, as we've talked about before, Seth, you just asked McDavid who he doesn't want to play against, and it's Spurgeon and Brodin because, over the course of, 6 years, he's lucky if he gets a point a game. And there's no other team that can say that. McDavid has been the class of the class for so long now, we forget just how good he really is. But this defense, is so good I like the lightning strike because, boy, we can hit hard and we hit quick. So anyway, and then Wallstead and Gus Bus. What is Wallstead's save percentage now?
I
Gus
will
is too.
I'm pulling it up right now. I want to say it's 913.
Yeah. You're going to see that back up in the 920 shortly because I'm absolutely certain Gus Bus is going off on a roll again.
914.
Yeah.
Gus is at 907.
Okay. I mean, we're set for the playoffs. We really are. Defense wins championships. Other than when Colorado won theirs with offense, it's always been defense. And who better than Gus Bus and Wallstead in goal for us going for the cup? There isn't anybody better. We're the envy of the league. And, I don't know what everybody's thinking, but if you want to leave some comments, let me know what you think. I'd like it because, whatever questions you ask, I answer. And, that brings me up. Somebody asked me about who was the player from Seattle last week? Somebody asked me about.
That would have been McCann, I would imagine.
No.
Or Beniers.
Yes, Matty Beniers. Well, that's the problem with my disease. I started talking about schmaltz, I think. I don't remember right now, but that's the problem with my disease. I go off on tangents and I'm not even know I'm doing it. Yeah, which brings me to this. I want to give you an update on what's happening. I just ordered this very fancy camera and I will no longer be sitting on my couch. I have got a podium coming with a chair that goes up and down so I can stand up or sit down. And you'll be like sitting in a movie theater when you watch our shows when this all gets done. It's getting very close. Now we're just waiting for the equipment. And it'll be 2.0 coming up shortly. And I've been talking about the game within the game. Well, now I can show you the game within the game and explain what everybody's doing and what the formations, whether it's the 2-3, the 2-1-2, the 1-3-1. I'll be able to show you, and I can actually use wild players, much to the dismay of the NHL because they're cartoon. So they can't do nothing to me about it because the NHL is so strict on using anything from the NHL, and they don't give you permission to use their stuff. They just don't. So we got pretty much everything figured out. And as soon as my equipment gets here, 2.0 is happening. And I hope you like it because, well, one thing it's pre-programmed. So I don't have to talk so much free flow because I lose my way when that happens. That's just the way it is right now. And hopefully this will take care of it. And I just hope you pray that you like it because I'm not sure how much longer I can go like this because my disease is getting worse and I'm just doing the best I can to get through it. Any questions or comments so far?
A lot of questions.
We'll bring them on. Let's go.
I usually just wait until you've gone through your notes before we get to the questions.
I got it.
What happens if Billy doesn't get a center but gets a wing?
Well, quite honest, I think he's getting both. That's why else would you maximize your cap money? Because Trocheck's at $5.3 million. We can handle that, no problem. So I think he's making two deals now. Who the second players, I have no idea. And I've been looking at all the teams, and it's all pure speculation, of course. it's hard to say what Billy has up his sleeve because, he keeps it close to the vest. So whoever watches Billy when he's talking to the players on the Wild, please keep a note and keep me abreast of it because we might see Billy talking to our next player. I mean, really, it only makes sense. I don't know who you were, but you know what? That was a hell of an addition. You get a shout out for that. And I hope you can say something if you're watching the show tonight. Let me know because those things mean a lot. They really do. Next question.
Britt wonders, would you rather have Jesper as the backup in net or a 1C if you had to pick between the two?
Say that again.
Would you rather have Jesper as part of your goalie rotation or would you rather have a 1C? The assumption being that Jesper gets traded for a 1C.
Hell no. Not a chance in hell. I'm not trading Wallstedt. And if he does, that'd be the worst trade in Wild history. Wallsted's a very special goalie. I'm telling you, I've watched hockey for 60 years, and I can only think of a couple goalies that fit his mark. And I'm not kidding. I just tell you what I'm seeing, and of course, everybody can disagree with me. But I'm just telling you what I see and how he handles himself. We're going to be so lucky to have him for 5-10 years. I mean, however long he's going to play. Wallstedt is a very special goalie, and we should never trade him. Maybe for McDavid or Eichel, that would be an even trade. That's how high I am on Wallstedt. Really. Next question.
What about the possibility of a Kevin Fiala reunion?
That would be nice. That would be really nice. Now that LA just picked up Panarin, I don't see that happening. LA's biggest problem is they can't score goals. And it's their style of play and how they play. They're a counter offensive team. And they don't have the horses for it. And picking up Panarin's going to help. But, Panarin's a perimeter player. And he relies on his shot most of the time. I mean, it doesn't mean he won't go to the net. But typically, Panarin is a perimeter player with an excellent shot. So, I don't see Fiala getting traded at all because they need him. Fiala's a hell of a player, as we all know. I love him. Next question.
Let's talk about this. It was revealed that Quinn Hughes has a lower body injury and has had it since he was with the Canucks. And it was said that after the Olympics, Hines is thinking about sitting him occasionally.
Well, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. I mean, first and foremost, we want them as healthy as they can be for the playoffs. Everybody at this time of the year is got a lot of bumps and bruises. I mean, that's just the game of hockey. And you learn to play through it because they're hockey players. They're not baseball players. They're hockey players. But if that happens, I don't know. I can't, when you watch him play and he's so light on his feet, I don't know what that could be. Maybe it's just a bad bruise. Who knows? It's certainly not a groin. Because the way he skates. So I don't know what it would be, but if they got to rest him, let him rest. Most important thing is to get in the playoffs. And we're absolutely playing Dallas, whether we got home field advantage or not. We're playing Dallas. And I like our chances a lot. We just match up well with them, and we're a better team, in my opinion. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I don't see as any problem at all with Dallas. Next question.
I would imagine that once the Wild get into clinch situation, that we will start to see guys, depending on what happens with the rest of the standings, I would imagine we will start to see players' minutes capped or just guys get nights off entirely?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we have 24 games left. If we win 15 out of the 24, that gives us about 108 points. That's more than enough to get in. That's the most important thing. Now we're just fighting for home field. And sometimes that's not an advantage. You know, it all depends. But resting everybody that you can rest, absolutely. I mean, you know, even our secondary, like Hinestroza and he's our fourth line center and winger sometimes.
Sturm, Trenyan,
No. Comes in
Foligno.
from Iowa. No,
Oh,
he's not.
Pitlick.
Yes, Pitlick. Those are nice replacements. I mean, it just shows you really how deep the Wild are. Now, are they 1A players? No, but they get the job done. You know, Hinestroza, I really like him as a player because he brings an energy to the game that nobody else does for the Wild. And unfortunately, he's probably going to be one of the players that gets to sit when the playoffs come because we are so deep. But, you know, it's all about depth. And we have 4 lines now that we can roll with that we've never had before. Our first 2 lines are comparable to anybody's, especially when we get Trocheck. I mean, right now we got Hartman playing first line center. He could play third line winger, fourth line center. It doesn't matter. Hartman can play anywhere. He's really an elite grinder at this point. And same with Foligno. A lot of people don't like Foligno or Hartman. They want to trade him. You need those kind of players in the playoffs. You really do. You don't get anywhere without the grinders. You have to have them because they make the special hits. You know, and you look at the lean, mean hit machine of Trennan. He's going to break the hits record for the Wild this year, I think. I think you're looking around 400 hits.
He's going to shatter
Jesus. It. Yeah, I mean, you know, we got some special players. And I'm just glad I get to see it in my lifetime because, you know, this is such a fun team to watch now. When's the last time you could say the Wild were fun to watch? Think
21,
about that for a
21, 22.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it not in between for the most part. And probably not since 2016, 2017 before that.
Yeah. They have, what was I going to say? I lost that for a second. Oh, Hines. I see a lot of they're doing the goalie polls and where they're placing everybody at. And they have Hines between 20th and 17th. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Hines has learned from his mistakes. You know, my biggest criticism of Hines in the past was his time management, his lineups. And that's not a problem, or he's doing what he should be doing. He's changed the game up. You know, when they brought in Hughes, he had to change his whole philosophy on how the Wild are going to play. And he's done it with a smooth transition. I got to give Hines, he's top 5 goalies or top 5 coaches this year. And I don't know how anybody could argue that because the way the Wild are playing, I mean, they're just fun to watch now. You know, the little things that I see, like when you got Hughes going behind the net to set up plays on the power play, well, that's Gretzky's office. And it's pretty much a hybrid of what Gretzky and Coffey and Messier used to use. Well, now it's just Boldy, Kaprizov, and Hughes. I mean, it's beautiful to watch, and it's very hard to stop because you have the net protecting you from the defenseman. And the one thing I'm going to do is once the equipment gets here, is I'm going to show you the difference between what I call Gretzky's office and a lot of times the Wild. Well, now they're using they use 2-3 a little bit. And they use a lot of the half wall. breakouts, and I'm going to show you all the differences. So if you didn't understand it, at least give you an idea when you're watching the game what they're doing and why they're doing it. And I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope you are too, because it means a lot to me. You know, I've been watching hockey for over 60 years, and a lot of people think the game has passed me by. I'm just giving you what I see, and either you agree or don't. I understand. This is my life. And if it wasn't for Seth, I probably wouldn't be alive right now. I was down in the dumps. I have no friends left. They're all passed. And Seth gave me something to start living for again. And here we are today. Thanks, Seth. I appreciate it. Next question.
Imagine if the Wild didn't have a horrible October. They could be neck and neck with Colorado competing for the President's Trophy. It's a novel thought. I don't want anything to do with the President's Trophy because it's the kiss of death.
Yes, it is. You know, and if you remember at the beginning of the season, I was not high in the Wild for the first month. I mean, Seth used to just listen to me cringe when I talk about the Wild. I'm not kidding. He did.
I called for him to make a shakeup trade.
Yep. But I was just telling you what I saw. And of course, it turned out to be a terrible month of October, but I could see that happening. And I've also told you what I thought from then on. I mean, the Wild are building a dynasty. You know, Judd Brackett has done remarkable picks. And now we got Charlie Stramel, who's now the favorite hot topic around the league. I would not trade Charlie Stramel. I wouldn't do it. That kid, you know, a lot of people think he should just go to Iowa. No. You put him in for a couple of games, you can see whether he's going to miss a beat or not right away. No different than Brock Faber when he came in. You knew right away he belonged. And Stramel deserves that chance. He's probably going to win the Hobie Baker. What does that tell you? He's doing everything right. I mean, he's just a beast out there now. He's not a soft player any longer. He plays with grit. And he's big, he's strong, he's fast. I mean, everything about him is what you were looking for in the center. When's the last time we traded for a first-line center? You know, Urov, which brings me to Urov. He's going to be a 50-point player. He's got a great two-way game. He's got really nice vision. And he's only getting better and better, you know. 2 years, he's going to just be a beast, you know, because he can skate. But his biggest asset is how he looks at the game, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but and once people understand what he brings to the game, you know, Terrence Senkel should have had 2 goals the last game. He wasn't ready for them passes. Urov just has that vision that few people have, but he does have. So now you're thinking about, we got Trocheck, Stramel, Eck, and Trocheck. Jesus, we are very strong up the middle for years to come. That's a beautiful thing. Next question.
Let's go to this one. 22-acre ND Bear, who is being sent to the Rangers to get Trocheck. He says it better not be Jesper, Urov, or Stramel.
You got that right. You know, a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Hartman. I hope not. We need Hartman for the playoffs, as I discussed earlier. Hard to say. It's a tough decision any way you look at it. Maybe it's Nico Stern. I don't know. I don't think it'll be Foligno. Hartman's the talk of the town, but I sure hope they don't trade him because you need Hartman in the playoffs, he always raises his game. He's smart enough to know whether he plays fourth line, first line, doesn't matter. And, he gets under the fingernails. He's gritty. And, as we saw last year when he was hitting, who was that, Stitzel in Ottawa?
Timmy Stutzla.
Stutzel, yes. Well, it just shows you what he's willing to do. And you need those players in the playoffs because you have little time, you have little space, and that's what you got to deal with for 16 games. Next.
Let's move to Friendly Mike with a thought on the schedule. We haven't seen a condensed schedule like this before. Arguably, the best strategy is to rest players that are dinged up down the stretch.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure Heinz and Billy have already talked about all this, and they have everything straight. Because Billy's got a hell of a team working with him. He really does, and he's surrounded himself with good management, and they're going to take advantage of it. I mean, they got how many former GMs are working with Billy now? 2, 3?
2, I think, on the Wild side, and then, of course, the Olympic roster as well.
There you go. Yeah, Billy has set himself up quite nicely. And Billy knows what it takes. He really does. And whether you agree with, he went for a few years with not so good acquisitions, but now everybody's touching his gold. I mean, I couldn't be happier. I really do see the Wild going to the Cup. The question is it going to be Tampa Bay or the Canes? Tampa Bay they're just playing lights out. And 2 teams that nobody really talks about, but they should be. And that's Buffalo, who have won, 17 out of 20 games? What's their record the last 20, Seth? I mean, it's just phenomenal.
It's nuts is what it is. Let me pull that up here. I think they are in a similar spot to where the Wild are at as far as records since December 1st goes.
Yeah, the last 2 months, they've just been phenomenal.
Buffalo in the last 38 games, 22, 8-2.
Oh, that tells you they're for real. They're not going, and I don't think any team wants to play them. Just like with Columbus. I think a bonus on board, they've only lost 1 game out of 13 or maybe 14. I'm not sure. Can you look that up? He's got Columbus playing phenomenal hockey.
Yeah, Columbus is 12-4-1 in their last 17 games. As far as when Rick Bowness came on, January 12th, looks like. Yeah, January 12th. So their record since that point is 10-1.
There you go. They got Rensky down in the back end there. He's got to be top 3, top 4 defenseman in the league. Bottom line, he does it all.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have any true superstars other than him, but they're playing really good team hockey. And Bonus has got them firing all cylinders. And I can guarantee you nobody wants to play them in the first round either. Next question.
Ace says, I would trade Gus over Jesper. Do you remember Gus winning us a game in the playoffs?
Yes. Yes, I do. Against Dallas. And in fact, Dino took him out after he stole that game because that was part of the plan. How ridiculous was that? When a goalie steals a game, you put him right back in, you ride the hot streak, and that wasn't his plan. So there you go. But yeah, Gus Bus stole Dallas.
Ace meant stealing a game for the Wild. I'll throw that point of clarification in. I would still say that Dallas game.
Oh, absolutely. He did steal it. I mean, what more can you say? I know. Who scored the goal? Hartman,
Hartman.
I think. Yeah, they stole that game. It's too bad they didn't finish up. But he has his ways, and his ways are what counts, and that's that. Next question.
Since January 1st, Philip Gustafson is 9th in the league in wins. He is 7-1-2 in that span.
And the save percentage is what?
Save percentage is .898, and goals against average is .304. But I think there's maybe one game or two that have puffed those numbers up.
2 games really bad,
Yeah.
which can really screw with the numbers. I'll take Gus Bus over anybody. I don't care who you are. Right now, Sorokin, the Islanders, is considered the best goalie in the league. And I don't know why, because that kid for the Canes, Bussy, is that his name, Bussy?
Mm-hmm.
He's playing the best hockey for a goalie there is. I mean, you watch him, he's just phenomenal. And he comes way out of the net. I mean, he's challenging. He's got all the confidence in the world. And all it's going to take is one bad game. Just one bad game. And he's going to go through what Wallstead did. But because it happens to every goalie. I don't care who you are. Because this is a game about confidence. More so than anybody than the goalies. And it's going to happen. I don't know how many games they got left. 24, 25, 26. It's going to happen. He's going to get hit. But right now, I wouldn't want to play him. I mean, have you watched any of his games, Seth?
No. Unfortunately, have not had the chance, but I know
the kid's phenomenal.
The Canes guy raves about him.
Oh. Now, what I've seen of him, he's just like the Wall of St. Paul. There'll be a hell of a goalie duel. Because right now I think Tampa Bay and the Canes are the 2 finals for the Eastern. And I think it's going to be Colorado and Minnesota for the West. And of course, I'm picking Minnesota. Next question.
From Nathan, did you see a report from our favorite other podcast on Coyle coming back?
Yeah. What? Oh, that's clickbait. That's not happening. Coyle's playing really good hockey now, but he's not a first-line center. And even though he's playing good hockey, he doesn't help us as a team. We need somebody who can win in the dot, distribute the puck, and Trocheck fits all of that. Yeah, I saw Trocheck or Coyle and I'll think of it. Just go on.
Do I even want to know?
No. Oh, Jesus. I'll think of his name. When I don't have to think about it, it'll just pop up in my head. Next question.
What about Zegras and Owen Tippett or Matvey Michkov from Philly? They're in a tailspin.
Yes, they are, and the team is not happy. There's going to be a lot of changes in Philly. Of course, look who you got coaching them. Same thing wherever he goes. I like Owen Tippett. In fact, I could see us making a deal for some Philly players this summer. But I think Billy's main thing is trying to get the Hughes connection going. I really do. I think he's looking at that because that assures us that Quinn's not going anywhere. Not that I think he is anyway, because he's never played such good hockey. And he's happy here. He knows what Minnesota has. And as I've discussed before, this is the best team Minnesota Wild have had in 25 years. And with our next edition, could maybe put it up there with Colorado. I'm not kidding. Next question.
Do you see the Russian line, or the Krem line, as I like to call it, being even better since they are not playing in the Olympics?
Oh, absolutely. They get the rest. I mean, everybody's beat up right now. And the more rest they get, the better off they are. And, that's just the way it is. It's a long hockey season, and everybody gets hurt. I don't care who you are. Even if you don't miss a game, you're still banged up, beat up, and can't wait to get in the hot tub or the whirlpool or whatever. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever saw the Cleveland Indians movie with Charlie Sheen, when that guy was sitting in the hot tub with the boat motor. It was hilarious, but that was the truth. Everybody's beat up. And, the more time they can take off to repair their body, the better off we're going to be. Because the most important thing is get in the playoffs. Doesn't matter if we're 1 or 8. We just got to get there. And I see us getting there. No problem. Next question.
I'm going to go to our buddy on the fly here from last week. Which team do you think will be the biggest surprise at the Olympics?
Oh, that's a good question. Finland. Sweden's a little beat up. They've lost some real star power. And, Finland is just, they're always good in the Olympics. They just are. I mean, I've been watching them since, 64, 65. And I can remember, well, back then it was all Russia then. But, yeah, Finland's going to do something extraordinary to Finland.
On the women's side, I watched on Friday, I think it was. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings just because. And the women's game between Switzerland and Canada was on. The Switzerland goalie, one of the craziest performances I've ever seen. It was like the shots after about midway through the second period were like 30-3, and Canada had a 1-0 lead. Was all.
Well, that's why goalies can steal a game, because they truly can. Who won the game?
Canada won it. They had Switzerland had a couple of penalties late in the game back to back that led to another goal. I don't know what the score finished as, but I know it was 2-0 Canada at that point. And then Switzerland played America, and the same story. It was just a ton of shots against, and Team USA was, until they finally broke it open, they were having trouble getting it past as well.
Sure.
So.
Well, that's why defense is number one. When you got goalie can steal a game all by himself or herself. It's happened so many times in the course of the NHL. In fact, you know what? Now, next week, I'm doing the evolution of hockey, which I hope you attend. I know it doesn't sound real glitzy or glamour, but I'm going to take you through the changes in hockey and what has happened from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to now. I hope you enjoy it. It's a lot of work, but I have nothing better to do in my life but talk about hockey. So that's for next week. Next question.
While I check my schedule for next week, I'll leave you with this one.
Okay.
Brady Tkachuk from Ottawa.
Yes.
What do you think about the possibility of going after him?
I don't think Ottawa's going to trade Brady. That's who you build around. You don't sell them. You bring in players to complement. I know I've heard talk about it before, but I don't see Ottawa doing it. The only thing Ottawa needs is a goalie. They got a really nice team. They got a lot of talent there. They just happen goalie's not stopping the puck. And that's causing a lot of confusion over there. But, you know, they've built a nice team over now. I don't think Chuck's going anywhere.
He's gonna have to ask his way out.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe he wants to go down to Florida and play. I mean, who knows? Only they do. But I don't see him coming here. Oh, it'd be nice to have it to Chuck on it because, you know, all three of them are the same grade. They're gritty.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, you know, they have what it takes. They know what it takes. And they don't take any shit. And in the locker room, it's the same way. If you do something wrong, first thing you're going to do is hear about it from them, which is never a bad thing. Is that it for tonight?
I think so. Monday night next week, because I am going to have section games every other night of the week.
Monday at 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. Next Monday, 8 o'clock, Seth and I, for What the Hell Are You Smoking? Thanks for letting me rant and rave, taking the time out to listen to us. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.